Hi, and good afternoon. The passage that we are going to get to read together today is called Day to Night. So, as always, if you have your passage, if you will have it in front of you, and please follow along with me while I read this. Sunlight is shining through my window. It wakes me up. Morning is here. My mom calls out to me, Justin, breakfast is ready. I get up and get ready for school. We learn science and math. After lunch, we go outside to play. The sun is high in the sky. It feels warm. The rest of the day goes by quickly. I get on the bus to go home. The sun is lower in the sky. It feels colder outside. My family eats dinner. Now it is dark outside. The sun has set. I look out the window. I can see the moon and stars. It is time for bed. So we can go ahead now and look at the questions that go along with this passage. Number 1, what wakes Justin up and lets him know that morning is here? So let's go back in the passage and let's figure out what wakes Justin up in our story. So in this top line right here, this says, sunlight is shining through my window. It wakes me up. Morning is here. So boys and girls, what was it that woke Justin up? It was the sunlight shining through his window. Does sunlight ever wake you up in the mornings? All right. So what wakes Justin up and lets him know that morning is here? Is it A, that it feels colder outside, B, the sun shines through his window, or C, the moon and stars are in the sky? So we know that we just underlined that the sun shines through his window. So B is going to be our correct answer. Number 2, in what part of the passage is the sun lower in the sky? Is it in the beginning of the passage, the middle of the passage, or the end? So when we go back in our passage, we are going to be looking for the keyword lower in the sky. So that's what we're going to be looking for in our passage. So if we look right here at this line, I'll underline this for you. The sun is lower in the sky. It feels colder outside. Is that in the beginning, the middle, or the end of the passage? It is in the middle, that's right, because at the end is when it got dark outside. Number 3, when the sun is high in the sky, it feels warm. When the sun is lower in the sky, it feels colder outside. What does this information tell us? That A, the position of the sun affects, the position of the sun in the sky affects the temperature. And boys and girls, we're going to pause for just a second. This word position just means the place that it's in. So its position means its place. So is it positioned high in the sky or lower in the sky? It's just talking about where the sun is at. The position of the sun in the sky does not affect the temperature, or the position of the sun in the sky does not change. Well, we know that it does change, right? Because in the beginning it was high in the sky, and in the middle it was low in the sky. But does where the sun's at affect the temperature or not? So A is it affects it, it would make it hotter or colder, or B, it would not affect it. What do you think? Yes, it does affect it. So when the sun's really high is when it's warm, like around noon and 1 o'clock. And as the sun starts to get lower, as it starts to set, the days get a little chillier. Number 4, what is the theme in Day to Night? Is it what students do in school, how the sky changes from day to night, or how the sun warms the earth? It is how the sky changes. So it's how it's really bright in the morning, the sun gets high and bright and warm in the afternoon, and then as it starts to go down, it gets darker and colder. And that's the transition from the day to the nighttime, is the sun rising, getting higher, and setting, getting lower. All right, number 5 is a written response. Why does it get dark outside after Justin's family eats dinner? So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to work on using a part of this, the question in your answer. So the question says, why does it get dark outside after Justin's family eats dinner? The way you might want to start out your answer is, it gets dark outside because, and then we can answer. And we know that it gets dark outside because what is the sun doing? It's getting lower in the sky. The sun is starting to set. So those are some possible answers, but really work on using that question. So it gets dark outside because the sun is getting lower in the sky. The sun is starting to set. Those are all reasons why it is getting darker outside. Number 6, what did you learn from day to night? So tell me one thing that you learned from us reading this passage together. Again, we're going to use that question in our answer. So a great way to do that would be, I learned that, or something that I learned is. We want to use words from the question to answer it. And then at the bottom, I want you to draw a picture of Justin looking at the sky and really think about, if he's looking at the sky after dinner, is it going to be super bright and sunny? It's not. Remember, he said after dinner it started to get dark outside.